Alright, you guys have to settle a debate. Henry says I cook bacon wrong. So I literally take the bacon and I just kind of, not lattice it, but layer it layer by layer. So it starts to cook, and then after a bit you can do this. He says I should do it in the skillet one group at a time with no overlaying so that they all reach perfect crispiness. So right now, they've only been cooking for a while. But you can see some of them are getting crispy. But you guys need to settle the debate. Should I be making the bacon in multiple batches, one layer each, or does this method work? I do cook it toward the end longer, like John and Henry love theirs crispy. Patrick and I, you know how it is as adults, you just kind of quit caring a whole lot. You just want it to be done. But, so we'll eat wimpy bacon, wimpy limpy bacon, and then the boys like theirs crunchy. So I'll turn the heat up a little bit to get some crunch going. But am I doing it wrong, or am I doing it right? How do you guys do your bacon? Proof, it really does start to cook. See, we're getting some dark color, starting to crisp. I actually haven't even turned the heat up yet, I've just been leaving it alone. You see, I mean, it gets crispy-ish. Ugh. Yeah. The next part of an important morning breakfast, especially weekend breakfast we enjoy, it's got to be the perfect eggs, right? Let's see if I can do this one-handed. The idea is not to break the yolk. I'm totally going to break the yolk. Oh, yeah, so that egg would be a failure. That would be my egg or John's egg, because we don't care what they look like. The other guys, yeah, they care. So that one, failure. So I should probably tell everybody how I learned to cook bacon in this manner, as Henry says, this failing manner. Anyway, when I grew up, after my parents divorced, my mom moved to the Lonesome Dove Ranch in Eagle with us. And she would make huge batches of bacon for the weekend crew, or even actually during the week, honestly. Anyway, she'd make big old batches of bacon, and instead of doing it like layer by layer, I remember she would kind of put a layer in the pan, and then a layer on top of that, and a layer on top of that, and then get it cooking. And then after they've kind of cooked a bit, and they're not so soft and easy to tear, then she actually, I remember using a fork. But there's not a lot in here. If it's a really big pan, I use a fork also. But I can get in here with my spatula. But anyway, I remember my mom cooking bacon this way. Now, when I was married, originally I had, what's it? It's an electric skillet. Anyway, like a rectangular shaped one given to me. Not a skillet. I don't know. What would you call that? Flat cooker? I don't know. Anyway, so I used to cook bacon on that and make individual crispy strips, but I hated how long it took, so I reverted back to cooking this way. Yeah, so that's my cooking story. That's where I remember as a teenager my mom cooking it that way, so I just cooked it that way. But I mean, look, you're getting some crispiness going, right? Like, there's some brown. They're not all limpy wimpy bacon. Let it cook some more. Let's try round 2 for perfect eggs. The bottom has bacon grease in it. Sometimes I will cook it in butter. Ooh, 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 we got a 1 winner. Okay, ready to cross your fingers. Oh, 2 of them. Okay, so at this point, I just take the lid and put it over the top of them. I'm going to let steam and heat from the skillet cook it, and then we'll flip them as it, so the white will, I'll show you, the white will get done, and then the goal is to flip them just enough to cook the tops and then still have runny yolks. I did just open this up so I could get salt and pepper on them. So you see how this one's got the white that's looking really cooked, and this one you can still see the yellowiness of the white. It's not quite ready to where we can flip it. We want the white to really look pretty done before I gently flip them just to give the top a slight cooking and hope for runny yolks. I usually always end up overdoing it, but Henry and Patrick love their runny yolks, so I'm going to do my best not to screw it up. Okay, look. See? They're crispy. I never even turned the heat up to it. I've just been busy cooking the eggs and everything else. But look, that's crispy bacon, right? Yep, I probably overdid them. I'm really good at that. So instead of flipping them, we'll just put them on the plate like that. There's like some runniness, right? I failed. Today, yeah, it's gonna be one of those weeks, isn't it? Alright, set those eggs aside for me. Here we go, round 3. Okay. Alright, 1 good yolk. Okay, this time I will not leave the kitchen. I will not look at my phone. I'll not do anything until these are perfect. That's the goal, at least. 3rd attempt at eggs. Okay, so they're still going to be runny, but the white is done. So now I very carefully come in here and why is it when you're trying to do eggs perfectly, this is like what happens? Boom. Okay. Now I've got just enough time to grab a plate and that'll be still running. Okay, now get under it really carefully so you don't pop the yolk. Onto the plate. And, oh, there's some run. And, shoot! Seriously! Definitely not my morning in the kitchen. I got it right on the 4th and final time. You see that? That's a bouncy egg, which means those are soft yolks. But the important part is the white next to the egg yolk is done. Definitely want to make sure that's done. Woohoo! See? Don't film, you'll get it just right. Film, it's gonna fail like every single time.